I'm coming off of several weeks of working on the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm ready to switch it up and do something a little different this week. So if you watched my last video, you know that I recently released a new pattern, the Vivi blouse and dress pattern. I also did a sew along for that if you'd like to check it out. But the whole time that I was working on that pattern, all I could think about was some of the other spring and summer and warm weather garments that I wanted to start sewing for myself. And I was recently watching the YouTube channel, I think it's called Made with Rach, but she recently made a really cute top that was inspired by one that she saw on the Emerson Fry website, and she shared a link to a free pattern that she found to recreate that style. I just really like her style. I think she has a really nice feminine casual style that just everything she makes I think looks so nice. I downloaded the pattern, but then when I got to looking at more of the details of the inspiration blouse, I thought I might actually want to change a few things about the style. So one of the things about the style is that it has a gathered portion of the shirt that attaches above the bust, and I think it looks really cute, but on my bust, I feel like my bust is a little bit larger, and a shirt like that is probably going to have like a trapeze effect, and it's just going to stick straight out from the bust apex, which I don't want. I would like it to sit, you know, a little bit more parallel to the body and not stick straight out. I thought I could actually probably modify a pattern that I already have and already know what to expect with the fit to get it a little bit closer to a design that fits my proportions and my style a little bit better. I've been buying a lot of fabric lately. I'm not proud of it, but sometimes it's just really hard to resist. So I recently bought some fabric from Blackbird Fabrics. They have a beautiful line of block printed fabrics. So I bought a couple of their prints in this block printed line. One has a black background with a really pretty earth tone floral print, and then the other one is this really great bright orangey yellow copper floral pattern on a white background, and I think I'm going to use that one. And while I am a little bit tired of making the Vivi blouse and dress, which I'm actually wearing right now, I'm actually going to hack that pattern into this style. And really the Vivi pattern is kind of like a bodice sloper in its shape and style. It's semi-fitted, so it's not as, you know, tight as a bodice sloper would be, but it's a really great place to start for pattern hacking. If you notice, if I just pick up the collar and fold it front, it's just a very simple bodice with a crew neckline if I remove the collar. So I'm gonna eliminate the collar, and the center front is marked on the pattern, and I'm gonna make sure that I leave a little room for seam allowance there because I will have a center front seam. And then I'll just modify the sleeves to be a puff sleeve, and then I will add a gathered kind of skirt portion to the bottom of the bodice. I think this is gonna be really cute. I think this color is gonna work really well with other items in my wardrobe, especially jeans, because I wear a lot of jeans, and I think in the summertime it'll look adorable with shorts. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm gonna cut my fabric out and start hacking this pattern. For the back bodice, I'm actually just gonna eliminate this little shoulder dart here. So I'll just kind of straighten out this line, and then I'll bring in the shoulder here at the side to match the shoulder of the front bodice. I'll also be eliminating the waist dart at the front bodice, and I'm gonna be cutting the back bodice on the fold. So I'll just kind of position this on the fold where I take off about 5/8 inch here and just cut it straight down. I'm not gonna have this little curve to kind of fit the back bodice super close to the body. I'm gonna kind of keep it casual. And I also added just a little bit, like from the underarm here, probably added about, I don't know, not even a centimeter extra, kind of just making it go more straight down. I also did the same thing on the front bodice, just kind of starting at the underarm and kind of gradually coming out to add about a centimeter down here at the waist. So I was looking on the Emerson Fry website just to get a little bit more detail. They also have a dress version that is actually a little bit different, with the gathered portion kind of attached a little bit lower below the bust. So that's actually kind of affirming and makes me feel like I can just kind of go for it and move forward. I like the way that looks. And this would actually make a really cute dress as well. So it's kind of nice to see this. My thread keeps getting all funky in my bobbin. God dang it. I think it has something to do with my bobbin tension, because I have kind of futzed around with it a little bit recently. So now I'm just trying to get the perfect tension. I think it's a little too tight, but I keep going tighter than looser than tighter than looser. Let me loosen that just a little bit. Just turn that little top screw there. Feels right, but gosh. Hi, babe. That stitch looks good. We'll see. It's just been really giving me trouble. I probably should clean my machine too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh yeah, it's pretty dusty in there. Probably wouldn't hurt to oil it too. Right on that little hook. Oh, got my string stuck in there. God dang it. I promise I know how to use a sewing machine. All right, that should do it. Okay, this is the bodice so far. I just sewed the center front up to about my bust point here, and this is just gonna be open. I think I'm actually going to, like, I've got this pressed so that I can basically press under the hem and then top stitch that down and make it look like a nice clean finish. I think I'm actually gonna press this open a little bit more so that it has a little bit more of an obvious split in the front, and then I might add some little ties to kind of tie it together. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stitch it up a little bit higher and have it kind of be a little bit more simple like that. I am also going to pull the neckline down just a little bit. I kind of want that to be a little bit wider. And this is just big enough to pull it over my head. I think actually if I bring up the bodice a little bit more here, like if I attach that gathered portion a little bit higher, it'll probably be even easier. But I really don't want to have to add any like complicated closures or anything. I just want to pop this overhead. Overall, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I think this fabric is freaking gorgeous. I love this fabric so much, and I love this color. And actually, just this as kind of like a top on its own is kind of cute with a pair of wide leg pants. So I don't know, maybe another top is in my future. I'm gonna finish up the neckline, get the sleeves attached. I'll show you how I'm gonna modify the sleeves a little bit later. Once I get all that kind of finalized, I'll add the gathered portion for the bottom of the top a little later and decide kind of the placement on that. But I actually have to go because I have my first radiation appointment today. Just a little PSA. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Get your mammograms, ladies. But I'm doing great. Actually, a lot of people have been checking on me. I'm doing really, really well right now. I'm not gonna have to do chemo or anything like that. So I've already had surgery. I'm gonna have radiation. So I start that today, and I'll do that every day for the next 3.5 weeks. So I'll have 18 total treatments. Aside from the surgery, I've actually felt pretty good most of the time. I feel great right now. I've healed up really nicely. As time goes on, I might get a little bit fatigued. If that happens, I may, have to take breaks from posting or whatever, which is fine. Anyway, I've got that today. And I will see you guys tomorrow, which will be just a few seconds for you guys, unless there's a commercial. Sorry about that. To modify the sleeve, I've just traced the original sleeve from the Vivi blouse and dress pattern. Then I just straightened the sleeve seam at the underarm so that it is just straight down to the hem of the sleeve to add a little bit more volume down at the bottom. Then I divided the sleeve cap with 3 vertical lines. I'm gonna slash and spread those lines apart by 2 inches apiece. Then I'll just tape some paper in the gaps and true the sleeve cap to create my big puff sleeve. Then this will be gathered across the top of the shoulder and attached to the bodice. I've got the sleeves attached, and I cut just a strip of fabric that was about 45 inches long, just the width of the fabric, and sewed 2 rows of basting stitches so that I could gather this. And I kind of just want to hold it up to my body and see where I want to put this. So I kind of liked it right here, like right under the bust, because the original design kind of was up here, and I just feel like it's going to kind of get like you can kind of see it's really poofing out here. So I think if I go just below the apex of the bust, it'll probably work a little bit better. So one option is to do about right here, which I think could be cute, or I could even just go just below the bust, which also might look a little bit more proportional. Yeah, maybe I'll put it right there under the bust. So that's probably about 2 inches below where the dart meets the side seam. I think I'm gonna sew it on before I trim off the bodice. I wanna just kind of sew it on, like baste it to the bodice and see if I like that. If I do, then I'll cut a piece for the back as well, do the same thing, sew up the side seams and attach it and then hem it. Okay, so I just basted on this little gathered portion here. I don't have any on the back. So I just did it to the front so I can kind of take a look at it. And then I feel like the sleeves need to be shorter. So I think I might take a significant amount, like maybe 5 inches off the sleeves I just feel like they would look better kind of more up here. I think that's just a cuter look. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up and put the finishing touches on this blouse and we'll see how it looks. So after I cut off the sleeve to a shorter length, I decided to add some shirring to gather the sleeve and make it a really cute little puff sleeve. But when I tried it on, I just wasn't very happy with it, and I actually kind of liked it better at the longer length. So I replaced the sleeve with the original length sleeve and just did a 1/2 inch double hem fold, stitched that in place to finish the sleeve. I may eventually add some kind of shirring or, you know, make it more of a puffy sleeve at the hem, but I think I like that better. Thrilled with how this little top turned out. I love peasant style tops, and whenever I make myself one, I'm always reminded why I love sewing my own clothing so much, because tops like this that I find in stores never fit me in a way that feels flattering. I'm gonna say it, flattering. I'm gonna use the word flattering. I know it's taboo to say the word flattering, but for me personally, when I look in the mirror, I want my clothing to look a certain way and feel a certain way. So being able to take a style that I admire and really want to wear and modify it to my own specifications in a way that feels really good for me to wear is really empowering. So I'm gonna call this a win. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think this fabric is gorgeous. I mean, this block printed fabric from Blackbird Fabrics is amazing. I've linked Blackbird Fabrics website in the video description. I keep pointing down, but I've noticed that YouTube has moved the video description to the, I think it's over here, to the right side of the screen. So be sure to check the video description for any links to things that I've mentioned in my videos. I usually do try to put a lot of resources in the video description, so don't forget to check those out. I know that this is gonna be in heavy rotation in my wardrobe this spring and summer. It's really nice and airy. I like that it covers the tops of my arms because I do have keratosis pilaris. It's not like serious or anything at all. It's just like little red bumps on the backs of my arms. And sometimes, especially earlier in the season when I haven't gotten any sun on my body, it's a little bit more noticeable. So a top like this is just really comfortable for those times. It's got enough, you know, airiness that some breeze can get through and keep me cool on those warmer days. And it also, you know, adds a little extra sun protection. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.